For more than 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter in our community. From our studios in St. Clair, you're watching Focus with Paul Dingeman.
Welcome back to the Focus program. Nice to have you along. We've got some two very good, interesting segments today with two very fine ladies. The first one is Kathi Hobson. Kathi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
You are with, pronounce the name of the group. How do you pronounce the name?
NAWIC.
NAWIC,
Yes.
which stands for National Association of Women in Construction.
Yeah, that's correct.
I can honestly say that is a group I've never, ever heard of.
Well, we're going to change that today.
Good, good, good. What is the group? What do they do?
Well, we are an association that looks to strengthen and advance the successes of women in the construction industry.
Okay.
And we advocate for education and inclusion and diversity across the entire construction realm. You know, some groups focus only on business owners, some focus only on tradeswomen.
Yep.
We welcome everybody because we feel that the more voices are heard, the more synergistic we can become. And so we do a great job, I think, of educating the construction industry about women in construction, issues and concerns that people have about women. You know, they're not strong enough. They're not big enough. They don't tolerate the cold good, or they don't tolerate the heat well. Those types of things. And we can prove to them that women can do everything in the construction industry that a gentleman can do. We're smart. We use tools. We're smart. We use tools, and we can work around those kinds of things.
Tell me, what is the percentages, or are they available of total women in construction?
Sure. Yeah. In the entire industry, women make up about between 9 and 10% of the industry, and it's varied over the last 15 or 20 years, and those numbers are staying pretty stagnant. And in the building trades, the women that are actually out there constructing, it's much lower, about 2.5 to 3%. And we want to move that decimal point. We want to make it 25% in the building trades.
So the current employees, women employees in the construction, what kind? If they're not out in the field, where are they? In the offices?
We have office administrators. We have document control specialists. We have bookkeepers. We have attorneys that assist the construction industry. Folks
Estimator kind of thing?
Oh, absolutely. Estimators, project managers, project engineers, and like me, safety professionals.
Okay, that's right. That you do work for a construction company. You're just not with the association.
Correct.
And
it's an entirely volunteer association.
And your job with your own company is safety. So you go around and make sure everybody's going to be safe on the job.
Yeah, you know, I try to start out by making sure that everyone has the right tools in place. And I don't necessarily mean, you know, hammers and saws and things of that nature, but I'm looking for tools that they can use to enhance people's safety on the job site, that people are properly educated when they come to work, and that they know the risks that they're taking, and we know how to fix those risks.
I'm familiar with, in St. Clair County here, the RESA program, Regional Education and Service Organization, and they've got some construction classes. Do you see young students, more female students going into the construction industry? We
do. You know, in fact, I'm working with the Clarkston School District, and they have a group of young women. Actually, there's 4 of them, ranging from freshmen to seniors, and they want to get into construction badly. And they are being educated and taught hands-on, and they're taught safety, and so they have tools that they can use when they go into an apprentice program. They've got an OSHA 10-hour course. They've got an OSHA 30 course. They have all that hands-on education, and so it's transferable material that they can use, and that's great. I mean, that's something that we want to do for our industry. You know, NAWIC has internal programs through the NAWIC Education Foundation for construction industry specialists and construction industry technicians. There's construction bookkeepers programs, and those are validated by Clemson University. So they hold a little bit of a little bit of weight if you're saying, I want to get into construction. Well, what is your background? Well, I have these certifications and I can prove it.
It's a growing field, construction, and it looks like we're going to have an upswing once this crazy election's all over with. And
yeah.
We try to get some normality back to, maybe by the first of the spring or something.
It would be great, and there's always roads to fix, and
right.
there's always buildings to build. So that industry is always out there, and there is always the renovations and the demolitions and those types of things that are going to take place.
On your website, there was a indication of a Rosie the Riveter contest. What was that all about?
Yeah, well, we decided to do a program that was a little unique this year, a virtual program, and it gets us out of a hands-on program that we've always had for years called Block Kids, where children use Lego-style building blocks to create a project, and then they have to present it to a judge. But the Rosie the Riveter competition, which just ended, we had students from 4th grade to 9th grade all across the state of Michigan.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Submit entries with a little picture and things like that. And we told them, be creative with your picture,
right.
but tell us how Rosie the Riveter impacted the nation back during World War II, and what kind of relevance do you see today? And the kids were great about saying, Rosie is relevant today because I can see my sister getting into the construction industry, and this was from a young man that wrote an article, and they did a great job of portraying the original Rosies, and they were very clear that this wasn't just one single person, that it was a group of women. And right now, those women are trying to get, as sort of a blanket, Congressional Medal of Honor for all of those women that participated in that war effort.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So they have great support across the across both sides of the aisle in the Senate, and hopefully it can get pushed a little forward.
If people want information about the Detroit chapter of NAWIC,
yes,
they should just go to www.nawic-detroit.org. But the future looks great.
I think so. And I think that the future for women looks fantastic in the construction industry. I think that we are going to continue to build on our successes, and I think that we will see more and more women take that step, daring to take that step into the construction industry.
Yeah, just sitting in an office behind a desk is not necessarily the right thing for the right person. Maybe you do want to be outside.
Right.
Maybe you do want to be climbing a ladder.
And as I told you, my background is in nursing,
right?
And I always thought that was going to be my long-term career, but due to some circumstances,
things happen.
I ended up in the construction industry, and I have never looked back. I use the tools that I gained as a nurse in my construction profession, but it's so amazing to see more and more women in the field. When I started with my company over 20 years ago, I was out in the field walking the job site, and when I say the field, on a project site, walking the project site, talking to the workers, trying to engage and understand what they were doing, and I was the only woman out there.
Right.
And we had an administrator who was working in the job site trailer, and so the two of us would see each other a couple of times a day, but until I found NAWIC, and like you said, sometimes it's hard to find, and I didn't know about it either when I first joined. I found a marvelous support system of women across the industry, across the country, and I got put sort of on this trajectory of leadership that I didn't really expect to be on. I have been a National Safety and Health Committee chairperson.
Wow.
I initiated an alliance that we had with Federal OSHA, and I'm still actively, and I call myself the OSHA emeritus individual because I still get called every once in a while to help support that.
Yeah. Well, it's been a delight meeting you and hearing more about a thing I didn't know too much about, and that's women in construction. So.
Yeah, we've been around for over 50, almost 60 years now as an organization. We started out in Fort Worth, Texas with, a dozen or so women just wanting a support network.
That's how things grow.
Yeah.
Kathi Dobson's her name. We thank her for stopping by today and letting us learn more about women in construction.
Paul, thank you very much.
You're welcome. We'll be back with Allison Arnold from the St. Clair Library Area Library System in just a second, after I get my words straight. One of the important functions of St. Clair County is the St. Clair County Library System. And joining us is the executive director of that aforementioned group, Allison Arnold. Welcome back to Focus Show.
Thank you for having me here.
What a spring and summer you've had in your facility, ma'am.
We have. Everybody's been experiencing this chaos, and we're doing the best we can, trying to survive just like everyone else.
Well, you've got some news, you've got some information
Yes.
we thought you better go through.
Yes.
First off, you are opening some branches. We'll get to that. We're going to talk about returning books.
Yes.
We're going to get to that. We're going to talk about hot spots and stuff. You've got some new rules. What are those?
So the library branches are all open. So
Okay.
the 11 branches across the county are all open to the public. Our hours of operation have changed a little bit. Every branch is open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 until 5.
Okay, only Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
And then Tuesday and Thursday is 11 to 7.
Okay,
Yes.
so you're actually open 5 days.
Correct.
But adjusted hours.
Correct. Yep.
So
Yep.
let's go through those again. So before I interrupt, I won't interrupt this time.
That's okay. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 until 5 p.m.
Okay,
And Tuesday, Thursday, 11 until 7 p.m.
okay.
Yep.
All right.
And those hours will remain until we are able to increase our services dependent upon the course of the virus. As it stands right now, we are accepting book returns only to the outside drop boxes.
Okay. Why for that?
Well, we are quarantining the books.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So what we're doing is there have been a series of studies that have been done about the viability of the virus and how long it lives on surfaces. And because the library system deals in so many different surfaces, from paperback books to hardcover books to videos, that sort of thing, the advice of the American Library Association as well as the Michigan Library is that we would quarantine for 3 to 4 days. So
Okay.
we chose the safer of the choices, and we are quarantining for 4 days. The materials themselves in the branches, if you were to go in, you can browse the shelves. But we ask that if you've removed a book from the shelf to not put it back, to put it on a table so that we can put that aside for a little bit.
Okay.
We do have a limited capacity for numbers of patrons within each branch.
Okay.
And that is in alignment with the emergency order from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. And that's 50% of our capacity for each branch.
Okay.
And then we're also asking patrons to be considerate of their neighbors when they come into the library, to try not to spend more than half an hour or an hour in the library. Because of the capacity limits, we want to make sure anybody who wants to use the library can use the library without having to wait outside in lines and that sort of thing. Other than that, some really great news. The library board met again as their regular meeting on Tuesday, and they approved the waiving of library fines through the end of this year. So so any fines that were accrued from March when we first closed all the way to the end of the year will be waived. And for those people who have fines that were accrued prior to that, we'll work with you. So give us a call. We want the library to be as open and as accepting of the situation as we can, but we do want to make certain that our patrons are safe as possible in a public building and our staff are as safe as possible.
Let's go back to patrons coming in and grabbing a book and taking a look at it and then hand it over to the desk so that it can be quarantined. The book can be quarantined for a period of time. What about periodicals? What about magazines and newspapers? Because a lot of people come in and read the Times Herald or the Wall Street Journal.
Right. To a certain extent, it is up to each individual's comfort level when they come into the library and them deciding what is safe for them to use and what is not safe for them to use. So, for instance, if you come in to read the newspaper, we actually have gloves if you're interested in having gloves.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yes. For the computers, we have plastic sleeves that go over the keyboards and over the mice, if you feel that's something that you want. Otherwise, the staff will wipe down the keyboards between each use.
Okay.
We do have to ask that masks be worn, and that masks be worn properly over the nose and the mouth. Mm-hmm. And that is also part of the emergency order through the MDHHS. So we do provide some paper masks if you happen to walk in and forget that you need it. Yep. And staff will also allow for those folks who have medical intolerance for masks. We do have some face shields.
Oh, okay.
Or you can use the library for that short period of time, but you will be pretty much in a bubble of 6 or more feet. So any service that you may need, we may ask you to stand further back.
You touched on computers.
Yes.
There's been some changes there.
Yes. Like I said, we are asking that people spend a little less time in the library to allow for as many patrons as possible to use the library. So what we're doing is we have limited the computer time to 1/2 hour.
Okay.
If we're not busy, that could potentially be extended another ½ hour.
But be courteous to other people.
Exactly. Yeah. But we still have our Wi-Fi at all of our branches, and that's available 24/7. So you can get Wi-Fi if you were parked in the parking lot of one of our branches. You should be able to also access our Wi-Fi 24/7. And saying that, we also have rolled out a brand new website. We think it's marvelous. We love it.
Let's take a look. Sam, I think you can throw that up, the new website, and we'll see what it is. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Talk to us about that now.
It's much more user-friendly in terms of being able to access your library's account or or information about getting books, putting items on hold. We also have the ability to have folks sign up for online newsletters.
Oh, great.
A lot more new functionality.
It's very clean looking.
Yes, yep.
Ask the librarian right there.
Yep. And we've been getting those Ask the Librarian questions like crazy, and it's wonderful because we're able to quickly and easily respond to patron questions. So we're really excited about where we're headed. We've had a lot of development in terms of program. We're not having in-person programs in our branches yet, but what our library staff has been doing is putting together online programs. So we have a regular story time that goes up on our Facebook page. We have a wonderful program that one of our branch leads created, and she tells fairy tales and folk tales. and she's very dynamic. We've had our librarian who is responsible for the Library for the Blind and Physically Handicapped. She's been doing online program on the fidget quilts. So they have folks sewing fidget quilts and showing what they do and how they work.
Wow.
So we're quickly developing all those beautiful, wonderful ideas and philosophies we had about where the library was going is just kind of
Happened.
hit the accelerator button and here we go. But yeah, we've been having some fun and challenge, but
It's not your dad's Buick anymore.
That's right. That's right.
So, in fact, one of the library people did a thing for Halloween. They read a book with a costume on.
Yes.
And I know Therese Hawkins here at the Recreation Department used it for her Halloween presentation.
Oh, good.
And it had great success for it.
Yes,
so
yeah.
Very animated and very well done.
Yep,
so.
yep. We're learning a lot of new skills. We were able to purchase some production equipment, so that allows us then to actually take that equipment to the branches potentially.
Oh, wonderful.
And set up a space. I will say, and I won't name the staff person, she's doing such a fabulous job learning this, but we did post a couple of children's programs sideways. We figured that out. She's great. I love her, and I don't want to give her a bad...
That's called a learning process.
That's right. That's right. Yep. But we're having a good time.
Let's go back with the very beginning.
Yes.
The new rules, not necessarily the rules, but the hours of operation.
Yes. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. And then Tuesday and Thursday from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. is when all branches will be open.
And all return books should go to the outside containers.
Correct.
Because they are quarantined for 3 or 4 days.
Yep.
And the big story is that all fines have been waived till the end of the year. So
that's
lots
correct.
of stuff going on at the St. Clair County Libraries.
Yep, yep. I encourage anyone who is interested to come and use our services, even though they are restricted a smidge. If you're not comfortable coming into the branch, we do still provide curbside service.
Oh, okay.
So you can call the branch that you usually do your business with, let them know that there are some books that you would like. They'll put those together, check them out, and carry them out to you. So as the weather gets bad, that might be a really wonderful way of continuing your library use.
Are you seeing numbers? How are the numbers of attendance and
the numbers of attendance
must be down?
Yes, yes. We are actually on par with most of the libraries in the state with regard to attendance. Our online use is way up, and our in-person use is down by about half at this point, including circulation of materials. But we are starting to see a rise, and we have seen a rise in the number of library cards that have been issued. So patrons, our citizens are using the library a bit more, so in terms of online use. Yeah.
Allison Arnold, the Executive Director of the St. Clair County Library System. And we thank you for stopping by every once in a while here at the Focus program. And lots of information and lots of reasons for you to use the library system. That's about it for this edition of the Focus program. Thanks very much for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Paul Dingeman. See you soon.
Thanks for watching Focus with Paul Dingeman. Focus is produced at the CTV Community Television Studios in St. Clair. For over 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter to our community.